رحمن يا رحمن ساعدني يا رحمن اشرح صدري قرآن املأ قلبي قرآن واسق حياتي قرآن.
Alhamdulillah, we have acquired the professorial lecture, very concise, straight to the point. Most importantly, the time management is superb. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to copy from you, Prof. Sir. Inshallah, we said earlier that questions should be forwarded so that we can manage the time judiciously. However, we have some questions that are meant for the panel discussion. So while we are waiting for the questions that will come up from the lectures or concerning marriages, so we are going to start with the panel discussion. And alhamdulillah, the panelists are blessed to have the professor around. So any question that is difficult, we just, inshallah, request Prof to answer the question. As part of the panelists, maybe we should start from Hajia Zainab Aliyu Abubakar. This question says, what are the misconceptions of divorce among the Ummah? The misconceptions of divorce among Muslim Ummah. Yes, you can use the mic there, Hajia.
Another issue is lack of legal documentation. Some people feel Muslims don't document marriages, and that is one of the reasons why there is so much rampant divorces, and it's not like that. Islam has every policy about divorce. In fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to send down a whole surah, Surah Al-Talaq, to teach us how to divorce a woman. So this is a very big misconception. So in Islam, it's not even only legal, Sharia courts that have the right to make decision on divorce of Muslim women, even the civil one, meaning if it is not against the Islamic jurisprudence, they can even take care of the divorce issue. So which means legally, Islam did not say it's not allowed to have a document, maybe a certificate or something for that, even though it is not really there. But at least if we have some countries like Malaysia and other Islamic countries that usually do that. So another one is irrevocable divorce. There's this misconception that it is allowed to have a talaq 3 times at once. So, and we know most of scholars said it's not even allowed. But this misconception is going against some of the women that if a man say he divorced you once or twice, is okay, but when it is 3 times, that this is also a cheat. That why is it that? And they don't even know. In fact, they know that the non-Muslim, they even don't have that circumstances. So this is even part of the things that Islam even provided to Muslim, that is so much, in fact, to us. Because if there is this divorce that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, ayyuhannasu idha talaqtumun nisaa fatalliquhunna li'iddatihinna wa ahsul idda fattaqullaha rabbakum ila akhir al-aya. Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala is saying that we should, if a man is divorcing a woman, should let her stay and do her idda in her own house. So this is a kind of something, in fact, there is no any religion that gives this kind of softness. So if we can stay in the same house, there will be a probability that they even go back together. And this is also allowed for the second divorce. It's only in the third divorce that is allowed.
Jazakillahu khairan, Hajia. We are going to move to the next question. Malan Nasir, what are the causes of rate of divorce among the Ummah, specifically among healthcare practitioners?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Maybe you have a minute and a half to respond to, inshallah.
I'm not a perfect person on divorce, so I may not necessarily be able to answer the question perfectly. But from my point of understanding is our inability as men to understand the context of the women health workers is one of the reasons that is bringing about most of the problems. Because if you are a health worker, for instance, if you are a nurse or a medical doctor or whatever, if you are working in the hospital and you are on shift, assuming if you are on night shift, your family have expectations on you, and you are there in the hospital working the whole night, standing, some of them standing, spending the standing. When they come back home, there are a lot of expectations on them. Their children, their husband, their extended family have a lot of expectations on them. Meanwhile, they need to rest. So they are away in the night, and in the morning they are also away because she has to come back home and sleep almost the whole day. And by the time she woke up from her sleep, maybe in the afternoon, thinking that she has not come back to life, she is only preparing to go back to another duty. It happened to me at a point in time that in 24 hours, I only see my wife for 1 or 2 hours. Because I was a business person at the same time working in the hospital. I go for night duty. When I come back, I go to the farm. When I come back, I'm in the shop. When I come back, I'm preparing to go to night duty. She's there at home. If it is a woman that is a health worker, I'm definitely, but I think the patience my wife had on me wouldn't have been my patience on her. Maybe only 10% of that I would not have been given that opportunity. So I think this is the part of the problem, is that we fail to understand that the women that are working in the hospital are there for rebirth, and they are working for us. They are there standing in for us. So the expectations of family on them should be different. That is one of the reasons. And vice versa also, the women health workers also have their own palaver, because their expectations also on how they are supposed to be managed is also not realistic. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
barakatuh. There are some questions specifically directed to the presenter, Prof. Sir. This question says, is it Zainab or Hafsa that is Sawama Qawama, or all the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam are having that attribute?
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wasalam. But issue of narrations or narrative, sometimes you may have repeated qualities mentioned by different sahabi on different persons. Actually, the one I came to was this. I'm not denying the fact that all the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are entitled to that particular quality. So you can get it for Hafsa, but this is the one I just mentioned.
Jazakallahu khairan, sir. Before you hand over the mic, sir, this one says, how can we solve the problem of wives changing their names because of NYSC? Changing their father's names to husband's names. How can we address that issue?
Is it only for NYSC or generally this issue of the trend? Well, I know there are problems, because one of my students came from camp. She was complaining to me. I said, her husband to be, she changed her name to the name of her husband to be. After finishing the camp, the marriage couldn't take place, so he decided not to go again. She was now asking me, because the certificate will automatically be issued to her based on this. I said, that is foolishness now. You have not gotten married and you are just... So these are some of the issues. But generally, I think it's the issue of a woman bearing the name of her husband. Because the Quranic verse clearly mentioned that ud'uhun li'abaihim huwa aqsatu indallah. Everyone should bear the name of his parents. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, la'ana Allahu man intasaba ila ghairi abihi. That may Allah cause any person that decided to relate or be called upon attributing him to a different father other than his father, although that is the issue of if he's denying his father. So many scholars say the best thing is for us to do it in the Islamic way. But in some instances, I think the fatwa of one great scholar, Dr. Bashir Ali of Kano, was the opinion that because she's Maria and her husband is Ibrahim, she's not bearing Maria Ibrahim. Since they will not say Maria bint Ibrahim in Arabic usage, the Arab don't say call name the way we call it today. You don't say Rashid Abdul Ghani. No, you must say Rashid bin Abdul Ghani. If you say Rashid Abdul Ghani, they will ask you what was the relationship. So you must mention the relationship. So ordinarily, those days, this is how they do. If she's Maryam or Maria, she will be Maria bint Ibrahim. Now when you say Maria Ibrahim, that relationship that is not mentioned can easily be defined. So he said it can take the meaning of Maria Zawju Ibrahim. Maria, the wife of Ibrahim, when you take the long interpretation. So in the case of necessity, I think there is no problem. But if you have the option not to do that, I think it's the best, so that you run away from confusions. Thank you very much.
Sister Pharmacist Hafsat Adeshina, what are the possible causes of divorce of partners? What are the possible causes, what are the consequences of divorce to both partners?
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. I greet you in the best of greeting. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. The brothers are here. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them. And bless my sisters too. You asked me the consequences of divorce. It is practically, for what I've seen around, alhamdulillah, our scholar is here to give us the Islamic perspective. But if we look at it, we see that the first thing there is that apart from the man and the woman, if there are children in that relationship, the children suffers most. If there are children in the relationship, you see the children, the first legacy left, especially for the female child, is that what is she going to do? We see a lot of children even on the streets. We see a lot of children misbehaving. We all know that the family is the unit of anything that will happen as far as molding the children. So the children, if are in that relationship, will be greatly affected, either psychologically, emotionally, and the rest. You start seeing who is going to hold custody. There's going to be a lot of rancor. The father will say he's not agreeing. The mother will say he's not agreeing. Because initially, maybe they don't even have this relationship built on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's principles. So there's going to be a problem. Now, coming to the woman, it is really, really, really also problematic for the woman. Because our respect within even the society will reduce. The respect for that woman will reduce, whether we like it or not. A married woman is more respected if she keeps the principle than an unmarried woman, even if it's not her own fault that divorce happened. So she'll be psychologically disturbed. What about our own parents? The part of the country where I come from, it is a shame on that family. That why is this daughter coming back home? There's going to be a lot of problem even for our own family. What about the man? Without any reference, the emotion of the man too is disturbed. You see, he will just be misbehaving. What do I mean by misbehaving? Even at work, he cannot concentrate. He will start feeling his what has he done? What has he done? In as much as divorce is permissible Islamically, but he's hated. there is an hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that even though Allah permits it, but it's very, very, very disliked. It is when anything is not able to, when all avenues have been sought to resolve the divorce, that is not that the divorce will come. So what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not even that does not even like, even that is permissible, is hated in the sight of Allah. Why will it not affect any of the parties? So it affects anybody around it, even the families, both families. It affects the community, because what example are you going to show as a Muslim? Supposing is somebody that is being looked upon in the society, in the community, somebody that is respected within community, and you see him, they say there is divorce. There was one I heard like that. I had to do a lot of istighfar. I said, can this Malam divorce his wife? You see, it's even affecting me as a member of that community. So at the end of the day, it affects every party involved. But how much is this effect? Allah. It now depends on the circumstances and the environment.
Jazakillahu khairan. To the sister beside you, Sister Khadija Abdullahi Manga, being a nurse, you have seen a lot in this profession. So we would like to ask you, which of the marriages are stable? Is it a health worker marrying another health worker, or health worker marrying somebody outside the medical profession?
رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي.
Now, the question is what? I'm sure most of us are having such relationship, nosocomial relationship and nosocomial marriage. So I'm sure that is why the question is.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. May Allah bless this gathering. But first of all, I have just one or two comments I want to comment in the previous one. One of the causes the things that causes conflict or divorce, I think there is lack of communication or appropriate communication, and also lack of commitment. Lack of commitment. From this commitment, I will go to the question directed to me. If you talk about marriage, the most suitable or stable marriage, or the marriage that have that have conflict, is it health professional and a health professional, or a health practitioner with an outside health practitioner? As we understand the definition of IMAN, anybody that works within the hospital is a health practitioner, irrespective of his profession. To be kind with you, and you ask me of my personal experience. Okay? It's all about patience. It's all about patience. It's all about patience and commitment. Irrespective of the profession you are married to, it's all about patience and commitment. If you are married, if you are a gynecological doctor, female doctor, and your husband is also a gynae doctor, the gynae here knows what I'm saying. If you are a gynae doctor and your husband is also a gynae doctor, or if your husband is a gynae doctor and you are a midwife, or if your husband is a gynae doctor and you are a theater nurse, you know they send call to the theater. Where will you leave your children if your husband is on call? Where will you leave your children if they send for you for call in the theater? I don't know that I understand what is there. But it's all about communication, interpersonal communication, commitment, and understanding, irrespective of the profession you are. But the most the misconception here is that some of us think all the responsibility of marriage lies on the woman. Most of the men here, especially our Hausa men, don't help their wife with the chaos at home. it's not left alone for her to do it. If we understand, come together, under one umbrella, we can sort out things within ourselves, irrespective of the profession you marry. Presently in my hospital, a medical record is marrying a doctor. A medical record. When he first of all stood for her hands in marriage, he was just a secondarian. Her mother was the secretary in the hospital, and she said, I cannot give you my daughter until you have something to do. And he went back to school. His father was just a ward server in the hospital. But this man did not even look at their family status. And this boy went to school, he studied to the level of degree. His father died along the run. But this lady, she went abroad to study. His father was the secretary ward servant. So, but this lady went abroad, she studied, wallahi, they just got married no less than 2 months. A medical record, who was just a secondarian, is marrying a doctor. So I now saw him not balancing at work, and I asked him, why are you absent now? He said because he's helping his wife in some activities at home.
Allahu Akbar.
To some of the medical health practitioners' husbands, especially, I'm sorry to say, please, the doctors. Sometimes they claim they are busy, they are in the theater. There are this Doctors' Wives Association. When I heard them complaining, I now saw it's almost the same thing I'm complaining. A doctor, especially a surgeon, will be saving a life at the hospital. You call him, his phone is busy. They will pick and say, in a theater, yes, crop, and your child is there dying. You want to seek for permission from him to come out of the house to go and take your child to the hospital. But one thing I understand here is that it's because he knows by health practitioner, you are equal to the tax. So one thing I just understand here is that let every one of us take our responsibility wholeheartedly. Be a laborer, your wife is a gynae doctor, don't think you cannot fit in her shoe. But let all of us put ourselves in each other's shoe. Let us assist one another. Marriage is all about a kind of mutual understanding. Coming together, putting heads together, working together, resolving things together. And when she comes, you know when a man comes to the house and started gisting with you, something happened, wallahi, you must listen. As a wife, even if you want to sleep, you must listen. But when he comes back, he has started eating, you are talking. You know, he is slumbering. When you go to the next issue, you are and as a woman, you know, we have soft heart. You know, so to command the dika alamu, you are tired. As a virtual woman, you know, an ideal woman, you have to treat him, let him rest, you just allow him. That thing will be dying in her mind. She has not discussed it with him. And tomorrow is another topic that will be there. He is preparing for another day. So most of the women, this is what comes about causes of divorce again. They have emotional disturbances in their heart. They bury a lot of things in their mind. They don't discuss a lot of things in their mind. But all what you can understand here, all what we are trying to say here is a matter of patience, sub. And Allah has mentioned it in the Quran. It's patience and understanding. The advice you give to Mrs. A and B may not suit Mrs. C and D. When you go for marriage counseling, and it's very important, Marlon Harun, you said there is going to be a marriage counsel, Islamic marriage counsel. That counsel is very important. That counseling is very important for the health workers, especially. And we are not special. We are not different from other people. But why is it that we often have divorces within ourselves? And one of the reasons, again, is that when husband and wife that are health practitioners work in the same unit or the same hospital, it's supposed to be palatable. He has closed, she has closed. They should work together. But sometimes it's not friendly.
MashaAllah. Jazakillahu khairan, sister. We are going back to our resource person. There are some questions we would like him to address specifically, inshallah. So this question says, who is responsible for divorce?
In what sense? Who is responsible how?
Who has the power to divorce?
That one is very clear.
It's very clear. Is divorce halal or haram?
Continue.
Then this one says, what is expected from a divorced woman before, what are the expectations of a divorcee? Then who has the right to take custody of children after divorce? Inshallah.
I think he wants me to present another lecture on divorce. But let me start by saying, from all what my sisters have said and my Amir, you see, there is something fundamental. Probably they mentioned, but they are not very categorical about it. One thing that I consider major factor in this case is actually lack of adequate knowledge about what divorce is in Islamic perspective. In fact, I always say, the way we will have counseling on marriage, how you tell husbands handle their wives and this, teach them what are the procedure for divorce. 90-something% of men embark on divorce. They don't even know that there are principles governing how to divorce. If you will follow the Islamic teaching, it's very, very difficult to divorce a woman. It's very, very difficult. It's not as easy as we think. There are a lot of things mentioned that of mutual understanding, this and that. But when you start having disagreement, there are a lot of ways to handle it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَإِذُوهُنَّ وَهَجُرُوهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ وَضْرِبُوهُنَّ. These are steps. One, admonish her, either directly or indirectly. You form the person that you think can talk to her better. Number two, you can decide to leave her apart just to show her that you are angry. Number three, you can reach the level of taking disciplinary action against her. Sometimes, just to show that yes, you are not happy, you can decide to withdraw some certain things that maybe you produce, you do purchase at home out of privilege, not necessarily essential things, just to show her that yes, you are not happy. These are steps. If this doesn't work, there is issue of having the third party coming in. Most of our marriages collapse because we say we don't want third party. When Allah says you can invite third party to read, but there are qualities of those two, the third party who are, to be the third party. It should be hakaman, somebody that's knowledgeable. He is wise, is of high position in the heart of the person he's representing. The wife can nominate, you get somebody from their family of the wife, another person from the family of the husband. But scholars said they can choose who they want. Not that you just think this is the head of the family, you take her case to him. She knows he has issue with that old man already. Dama is looking at her, you now take issue to him again, representing her. There will be problem. Sheikh Abu Bakr al-Jazairi said she could be consulted. Okay, we want to invite somebody from your family. Or as the husband, you see this issue is getting out of hand. I think we just have to involve third party. I will ask Mr. A from my family to come. Who do you want me to invite from your own side? It's very, very important. Many people were called to represent the woman and they are misrepresenting her because they share some things. They don't have the same idea of what is happening. Now, if all this is being done and you decided, in fact, it could reach a level that the arbitrators will be the ones to say, okay, we think the best thing is that this relationship should be put to an end. The Quran said it and the scholars confirm it. They may just decide. My sister, I believe probably she's from the southwest, where she said the area she came from. You see, cultural issues affect the way we divorce. Not only considered as a taboo, to have a divorce. In normal Yoruba culture, sorry for me mentioning, in normal culture, you don't, as a husband, especially your first wife, you don't even have the power, the right to divorce a woman. You, do you know why? Because you gathered the entire family. In most cases, they don't give you a wife. You as Mr. A, they give you wife because you are from so family. Because Mr. A, Mr. B are your family members and they have come on your behalf. So these people will be protecting their own integrity. That is because of us they granted you. But you know, some cultures here, somebody will come to a place. Sorry for me mentioning this, but we want correction. He will come to Gombe. We don't know from where, but he starts selling this. Before we know it, we became the same family. He will propose a woman to marry or a lady to marry. He will just send his colleagues or his friends in the market to go on his behalf, and they will just come. We come on his behalf and we give them access. Sometimes, my sister, we have issues where up to the time of engaging consulting the marriage, the in-law, that's the father of the wife, of the bride, will only know the husband of his wife, of his daughter, in the masjid where they will conduct the. I went to a wedding. Wallahi, we were sitting with a friend. His in-law came. I know the in-law. I thought he came to us, he greeted us. He said, "How many you are here?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Wallahi, please, who is the husband, sir?" Wallahi, I wouldn't know already. So, which means he said, "No, because you." I was now asking him, "Baba, what?" He said, "No, you see, she was staying with was this her elder sister in Kano, and the husband of the husband of his sister, of her sister, is now giving her out." That will never happen in some culture. Wallahi, if you say you are from Ogun State, your forefathers, some people are here in Gombe, they have stayed here for more than 50 years, 60, 70, 80 years. In real Yoruba culture, they will trace you to your roots because of issues. Now many people married here, they divorced the woman and they left, we don't know where to get them. They are here, many. He just came, you ask them, they say, "No, we just met in the market, we don't know any of his relatives." So cultural issues are still there. So I think one of the issues, now if you now think the only solution is that you must divorce this woman, it's not you just wait one day because she offended you that morning, you say, "I divorce you." She has فَطَلِّقُوهُنَّ لِعِدَّتِهِنَّ. There is a period you can divorce a woman, there is a period that is haram for you to divorce a woman. If you have well established Islamic judiciary, Sharia court, a woman in that stage, you will be dealt with. You slept with her, sorry for me using this, but for us to get it clear, last night, because she didn't prepare your breakfast as early as you wanted, say, "I divorce you." That is rubbish. You don't know that. You only divorce a woman when she is in a state of purity, and that from her last period you have never had any contact with her. I don't know, maybe my point is clear. Once you have had a contact with her in a period, you don't have the right to divorce her. You must be patient until and unless she witnessed another period and she's now clean. Then you now come say, "Okay, I want to divorce you." That is when you now take the decision. You see, in most cases, we do divorce emotionally. Is that okay? Because you are so angry. Wallahi, here in Gombe, I don't know, maybe the person concerned is here, I don't matter. I witnessed a marriage. I always narrate this bitter experience. I hope I will not even experience it anymore in my life. On a fateful Wednesday, a lady called me crying. I said, "What's the problem?" She said her marriage is supposed to come on Friday, 2 days to come. But her father now said he has decided to put a hold at the marriage, that it will not come up again. I said, what happened? I said, maybe probably has made some investigation about your husband. She said, no. I said, okay, send the husband to me. From where are you calling? She says, from Gombe. I said, send him to me. He came. I asked, what is the problem? What was the problem? He said, actually, they fixed this marriage long ago. But his own parent did not go to remind this man, except on Wednesday. They fixed the marriage about maybe 7, 8 months ago. Ordinarily, the old man was expecting that at least a month to. You come and remind him. Only on Wednesday, they just came with Babani Gati, the wedding will be on Friday. The man get angry. I said, if that's the problem, there is a problem here, but I went to that man, old man, I think he was about, it should be around 70 of age. I talked to him, immediately said, okay, no problem, man, inshallah, I forget. I said, if you are not having issue with the man, and I was very clear, I said, I'm not here representing the angle because I don't know him. I told the old man, I don't know him, but if this is the reality, I think it's a family issue, I think that can be resolved. Don't allow us to waste this time. The man said, okay, no problem, on Friday the wedding should take place. The woman care called me with the husband on Saturday, after they have done their internal walima, calling me that they want to come and greet me. I said, don't need, you get wedded yesterday. You want to come and see me on Sunday, leave later. I didn't honor their invitation. I didn't give them that invitation. I didn't allow them. Exactly 1 week on Friday, I will always remember this vividly. I was about to perform ablution. I was to deliver the khutbah in university, Gombe State University. When I saw her call, wallahi, the first thing that came to my mind that they will say, okay, we still want to come and see you. It's okay, let me just pick her call, tell them to come on Saturday or Sunday, let me finish with them. She called me again crying. I say, what? He said, wallahi, yes, Kenny. He has divorced me. Wallahi, exactly 1 week here in Gombe. Look at how we take the issue of divorce. 1 week. Logically, you just think that probably this man is mentally unstable. Actually, 1 week. Wallahi, do you know the reason? She didn't prepare breakfast at the right time. 1 week, 1 week, and emergency. So you tend to. This man knows nothing about saying that, no, I have had contact with her in this state. I can't divorce her until after some weeks if she's pure. We don't know. So ignorance is killing us. I want to suggest, I try to do one or two bets. Wallahi, I will not dare lead any marriage. If I have the authority, I'm saying that if I have, but sometimes you have no choice. Except either I have a counseling unit, I counsel both on how to take care of her and how to divorce. Teach him. He should know the principle. It's not because you are angry, I divorce you, and that is all. In most cases, if we take some views of some scholars, wallahi, many so-called divorced women are not divorced, and they took another marriage. They engaged another marriage with the time of the first husband. That's why we always have children that we don't even know the genesis of their being danger to the society, because we are producing them probably in an unlawful way. Finally, what I want to mention here, asking is divorce halal? That is not the question you're supposed to ask. Yes, divorce is halal. Nikah is halal. Taking care of woman is halal. Being considerate of her situation is halal. Why asking about divorce? No one is saying divorce is haram. We are not here to say divorce is haram. But the principle laid down by Islam is telling you that it's not something we want it to happen. Even though the hadith al-abghadul halal indallah, al-haram is not authentic. But when you look at the principle laid down, mention this now. In most cases, it's because of your particular situation that you just decided I want to. But now you have to wait for her. She finished her period 2 days ago. You had contact with her, and you insist you want to divorce her. You have to wait for another month. 1 month, she will remain in your house. You must feed her. If you now divorce her, you divorce once. That is the principle. It's not halal saying you divorce her 3 times. That one time that you have divorced her, you take care of her, she's still your wife. Her hospital bills, everything, she's still your wife. You must feed her, but you should not have contact with her. I don't know, maybe you get what I'm saying. You should not have any sexual relationship with her, as agreed by many scholars. If you must do that, then you call her back. Yes. So, and you must stay there for 3 months. I don't know how you stay with her in that house. You take care, you feed her, you do that. The abuse of life. I don't think it will happen. If we follow this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Askinuhunna min haythu sakantum. You don't just divorce her and chase her away. That is why in some Muslim country, they coded most of these things. What they call taqidul mubah. Talaq is halal, you are acting is halal. But there could be a situation where halal will be restricted. In some Muslim country, that's what they embark upon. Okay, you want to divorce her? Okay, yes, no problem. Follow this. Who owns the house? Man, no, if you divorce her, she owns it. Somebody says it's un-Islamic. I say, what is un-Islamic? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَتِّعُوهُنَّ. That is mut'atu talaq. Make her comfortable. You want to divorce her, now make her comfortable. Don't divorce her, she starts thinking of where to start with. If I should be Al-Kali, and maybe out of Allah's wisdom, I'm not. When I finished my degree, they insisted that I should take postgraduate program in judicial whatever in Qadha. Then it was issue of Sharia, so that they prepare us to be. I said, I know my heart. I may not be a good judge because I will be so harsh. Well, sometimes I don't take some of these things. Okay, you must divorce. Okay, make it a principle. You want to divorce, give her 500,000 naira. Let her go and start little things. She will need another house after staying with you for 3 months or so. So, about the Islamic principle is a serious issue. Not only the couples, even the arbitrators. That's why Allah clearly mentioned hakaman min sifatil hakam an yakuna aliman. But even some of them, they don't even know what is the principle, what is the teachings of Islam, and they will be interfering in trying to reconcile between couples. I think these are some of my words. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Who takes custody of the children based on their ages?
It's a long, it should be a long discussion, but let me try to summarize as possible. The most important thing is the security of the child. The most important thing is the security of the child. But basically, taking care of the child, the custody of the child, primarily relies on the woman, on the mother. It's a right to take care of the child. The child should be with him or her, but provided she has not gotten married. Rasulullah said, Al-mar'atu awla bi waladiha ma lam tatazawwaj. A woman is entitled to take custody of her children provided she has not gotten married. If she decided she is now getting married, then whose responsibility to take care of the child now? Who is the next? Who is the next? Who is father? Who is father? Her own female siblings. And wanta su dauki dan is more closer. Sai da kai tuzuru a barka da yaro kai. Yes, for the child to stay with the family, female family of our mother is more secure for the child than even giving it to your own sister. And that is Islam. Wallahi, normally a woman taking care of a daughter or a son of her own daughter, sometimes she's more caring than taking care of the son of her husband, because she will always look at that child as another woman's daughter or daughter. But for her own daughter, so before it gets to you, say there are many people that will not be there before getting it to you. Although scholars differed, I'm trying to mention it, but I am of that opinion that except if we cannot get somebody close to the woman, a female, a woman that is close to the mother, no one should take care. That is number one. When the child reaches the age of 7, at least he can distinguish between what I want, what I don't want. Scholars say he can be given option. Where do you like to stay? Where do you like to stay? He has been with his mother for maybe this year, or this thing happened now, he's of 7. Where do you like to stay? I like to stay with my father. He stays there. Should that be permanent? They say no. If he feels that it's uncomfortable, he say, Kai, I thought I can enjoy this thing, but I cannot. I want to go back to my mother. Allow him to go. Mind you, even if he's with his mother, his responsibility still lies on you. You know, Batan Alba she should take care of him. No, it's your responsibility. These are a lot of things that we need to know. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Now.
Sister Zainab, this question, maybe in 1 minute, you should tell us the expectations of a divorcee while she is doing her iddah. In 1 minute, sister, because of time. What is she supposed to do in order to get back the confidence of her husband?
Confidence of her husband?
Yes, since she's performing her iddah.
Okay, that is if she's in his house.
Yes.
Okay? Okay.
Yes.
That is simple for women. The only problem is from the men. Most of the time, if the woman doesn't have a co-wife, I tell you, give her 48 hours, she will be normal. But if she has another wife and they are close together, most of the time, because of this jealousy issue, she will be keeping herself in the room, and the man will not have access to her. So most of the time, a woman can usually seduce her husband, especially if she's not been molested too much. If she's not molested, I'm telling you, if he can give her 48 hours to stay in his house, especially if he can give her a small financial thing, even if it is meat, wallahi, she can come up.
Jazakillahu khairan, sister.
Even if it means Al-Qasim Nandeko.
MashaAllah. Malam Nasir, does husband need the permission of his first wife before taking another wife?
I do not have answer to this question. Sorry.
Assalamu alaikum. Maybe back to Sheikh, because one star general cannot talk in some instances.
Assalamu alaikum. The question looks funny, but it's something that should be discussed. Yes, categorically, there is no any evidence that he must or he can only get married to another wife after the first wife or the wife is having has consented, that our consent is necessary. No. Here in Nigeria, in some Muslim countries, they coded it. That's their own issue, which is wrong. I'm not supporting that coding. But there is something very, very important. You as a man, that you need to understand. My sister and Nita, there is a proverb in Yoruba language. The meaning is that, you know, this rope that we use to put clothes after washing, to dry clothes. If a hen stepped on that rope, both of them will not have peace. Am I communicating? Both of them will not. The hen, if you did not drop it, and you say it insisted that it wants to stay on that rope, no one will have tranquility. That is what you should understand as a husband. I want to get married. Why? You want the taskunu ilayha, then be very much careful of what to do that will deny you that the taskunu ilayha. I don't say you must seek up. I mean, that you must look for her permission, she must grant it. No, we are not saying that. But let there be mutual understanding. tell this is what I want to do, this is what I intended. That is the normal thing. But the problem sometimes is my sisters. It's from my sisters. Sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes even those of us that we think we have some Islamic background, from my sisters, somebody says she that their own jealousy is extraordinary. So that's why you'll be afraid to even discuss it with you, which should not be. Ordinarily, something that should be discussed. This is my intention, this is what I want. For you to get her consent, at least, not saying permission now, at least she's aware and she's okay. I think it's enough. She should understand, my sister, when I said he should consult you, not that he should seek your permission. So I don't agree. What do you mean if I don't agree? You can't say you don't agree. But you may have your own way to live. Something, I don't know, maybe I make it public. But some of the things you may demand for, that you see, it will be very difficult for me to have another woman sharing you with me. I know, that one is normal. But can you decide to take a different apartment for her? It's allowed Islamically. It's some things are cultural, that you think they must stay in the same room, sharing the same, the same house, sharing the same kitchen, sharing the same toilet. It's not a condition, it's not. In fact, the scholars' discussion is that ordinarily they're supposed to be in separate places. What I'm trying to say, you propose to him. If he has the means, sometimes he has the means, but he doesn't think it that way. But there are a lot of implications anyway. If he stays, one stays here, another one stays here, you think of how to handle the children. But try to convince her. This is your assignment. You continue with your procedure. You don't make it that either you want or you don't want. If you like, you leave. If you like, you stay. I must marry. You are inviting trouble for yourself. The tranquility you want to get may not be there. And you see, the way you treated this one today, the other one come, you don't know what she will do. They said the cane you used to beat the first wife is hung there for the second wife also. She may still misbehave. So you should be very careful. Thank you very much.
Jazakallahu khairan. I think inshallah we are going to round up this session. But before that, we want to appreciate the sisters wing of IMAN under the leadership of the National Amira Hajia Naima, as well as the Amira of our sisters wing of Gombe IMAN, under the leadership of Malama Zainab Aliyu Abubakar. And to this end, inshallah, we want to appreciate our Sheikh for sparing his precious time despite his tight schedule to be with Iman. And we hope Malam has some vacancies in his house so that inshallah so I don't know, maybe Dr. Nasiru will discuss that so that inshallah we can have a plate in the house of Malam fully represented. And alhamdulillah, from the name Iman, the sisters are having Imani inshallah ya Sheikhana. So going into your house will not be a challenging issue inshallah. So to this end, we are going to call on the State Amira Malama Zainab Aliyu Abubakar to give us the closing remark and vote of thanks. Pardon? Okay, Sister Rukaya. Okay, now Sister Rukaya, please kindly give us the closing remark, inshallah. May Allah make it easy.
In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the most merciful, I would like to start by expressing my profound gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for making this program a reality. I would also like to appreciate our vibrant discussants for finding time to attend this our great occasion despite their tight schedule. And on behalf of the IMAN Sisters Forum, we want to appreciate our national officers and also our LOC and everyone that contributed toward making this program a success. And as for our members that sustained various degrees of injury on their way due to accidents on their way coming to this place, I wish them a speedy recovery. And for us that are here, I wish us a happy stay and also a safe journey back to our various destinations. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
رحمن يا رحمن ساعدني يا رحمن اشرح صدري قرآن املأ قلبي قرآن